Episode 2, Differences Isn't Dangerous, Inflexibility Is. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast is for reflection and conversation, not professional advice. I'm sharing my perspective and personal experiences. Please use your own judgment and seek appropriate professional guidance when needed. Listen in a way that feels supportive and safe for you. Hi, it's me, Kimberly. Today, I'm thinking out loud about a question that increasingly feels relevant. Why do we treat differences like they're dangerous? I've noticed how ready to fight people have become, at least here in America, when someone holds an opinion that differs from their own. It's normal to seek out like-minded people. That's human. But somewhere along the way, diversity stopped being information and started being interpreted as a threat. We've blurred the lines between opinions and values. We're labeling people instead of listening to them, calling them narcissists, fascists, racist, crazy. And listen, those labels do have a place. They matter when they're accurate and grounded in behavior, but also, do you know the person personally? But instead, they're being used against people we don't know, haven't met, and have never actually experienced. Social media and the news are designed to trigger emotional reactions. They're paid to keep us dysregulated. Somehow, we've turned life into a reality TV show, Big Brother energy, but without the prize money. There's a difference between saying this doesn't work for me and claiming moral superiority. Moral superiority is not saving the world. It's creating more division. Being open isn't weakness. Being willing to hear someone out while still choosing differently if you need to. For instance, let's take homeschooling, for example. Whether you find value in homeschooling or not, can we at least agree that a quality education matters? Because often when homeschooling comes up, the first reaction I've been hearing is people's focus on, but how will they socialize? Sure, some kids aren't well socialized. I've met them, but I've met them in public schools, private schools, and homeschooling environments. The issue isn't the system, it's whether kids are being taught how to navigate relationships, conflict, and tension in healthy ways. Bullying doesn't only happen in schools, it happens in families and communities, in the workplace. Some people are shy, some people are overwhelmed. Yes, socialization matters, but positive socialization matters more. When I talk about middle ground thinking, I think some people often hear, she can't make up her mind. But that's not necessarily true, but I accept the feedback. Middle ground thinking isn't indecision, it's discernment. For me, it's rooted in something very old, yin and yang, balance, interdependence, and an ecosystem. Your body is an ecosystem. Your mind is an ecosystem. Family, community, culture, same thing. Ecosystems don't survive by picking one extreme and declaring it the winner. They survive through relationships. I learned this lesson most clearly through the ending of a relationship that mattered deeply to me. And I want to be clear here. This relationship, I did endure abuse. I was treated poorly, not because I was trying to harm anyone, but because I thought differently and expressed myself openly. In my opinion, I believe this person found me a threat, and in my own effort to reclaim my own sense of honor and boundaries, I ended up engaging in the same behaviors they did to me that hurt me. It broke me because not only did I stop being who I was, I started repeating the same behaviors that broke me. And the relationship was dramatic. People picked sides, leaving communities unsettled. There was betrayal and multiple explosive moments both parties engaged in. It could have ended differently if only mindsets had shifted. If only we embraced the idea that everyone has a spot at the table, even if two people can't get along. We could have just done things our own way. We could have sat completely away from each other, metaphorically and literally. Just two people who work very differently. One thrived on structure, certainty, and control, and the other needed flexibility, emotional openness, and room to evolve. What stabilized one slowly drained the other. For a long time, I told myself, if I could just be better, if I could be calmer, if I could adapt a little more, everything will work out perfectly. I'll crack the code. But I had to learn this. Differences doesn't become dangerous until there's no room to adjust. My openness felt threatening. My curiosity felt destabilizing. And what felt grounding to them felt suffocating to me. Neither of us was wrong with the environments we were wanting, but we were incompatible in ways that love alone couldn't fix. I like to think of it like this. Some people are orchids, some people are succulents. Both are beautiful, both are resilient. But if you water them the same way, one dies. Middle ground thinking doesn't mean forcing compatibility. It means knowing when the most loving option is space. Distance isn't punishment, it's preservation. It allows peace where there was tension. It allows compassion without self-abandonment. Multiple truths can exist simultaneously. Parenting is another place where extremes fail constantly. We argue about spanking versus gentle parenting, about milestones, about screen time, about messy houses meaning moral failure. Science tells us something clearly. Spanking doesn't work like people think it does. Science also tells us kids don't need $400 wooden toys to develop. Most kids will walk, most kids will talk, and most kids will learn how to use the potty. When they don't, community, access, and support matters. You're not a bad person because you had dishes in the sink. You're allowed to have priorities. And sometimes those priorities means I need to save my energy to be patient with my child. Some people can do the dishes and be a patient parent. Great. Some days you can't, and you need to choose one or the other. These truths aren't mutually exclusive. Middle ground thinking is parenting sounds like this. What does this child need? What does this family need? What's sustainable? Not perfect, not performance. Nutrition is another area where I've noticed extremes. They're exhausting us. And I'm guilty of this. Yes, too much of anything is bad. And after being sick for a very long time, I got scared of everything. But we're not licking radioactive paint like people did in the 1920s. Your liver's job is detoxification. The problem isn't exposure. Oftentimes, it's overdoing it. Pain medicine is a tool, not a multivitamin. You shouldn't take Tylenol every day like clockwork, but it exists for a reason. Not everything is just food. Science has made edible chemicals. I do like my Doritos. And everybody's body's different. I can't tolerate folic acid while in supplements. They literally make me go crazy. But I'm fine with the amount in bread. It doesn't make vitamins evil. It means my body has preferences, and we can hold space for both experiences. Middle ground thinking says, listen, adjust, make small changes, not burn everything down and start over. Politics, the same way. Liberals and conservatives spend so much time calling each other evil that nothing actually seems to be improving. Everyone's economy is struggling. No, not just America. Every system has shown to have flaws. It's like pointing at a sunflower and asking it to grow slower and thinking that will help. Or yelling at asparagus because it takes longer won't help either. Change takes time. Systems can take generation, but the best time to plant a tree is now. We need affordable basics: food, shelter, water, education, community. But we also have to understand luxury costs money. And free, we get what we pay for, but charity is a blessing. There's no shame in it. Acknowledging one doesn't cancel out the other. Honest conversation, not dopamine-fueled outrage, is how progress happens. Here's the hardest truth middle ground thinking taught me. Sometimes the people who hurt us were also right about some things. I needed structure, but I was also right and I needed flexibility to breathe. It can be complicated and still be true. Drama gives a quick hit, but it doesn't build anything that lasts. Communities require diversity with understanding. We don't have to agree, but we have to stop treating differences like they're dangerous. The us versus them mentality doesn't make sense. Humanity is the us. There is no outside group we're fighting against because we are the flow. We are the ecosystem we keep talking about. And when we forget that, we don't become safer, we become smaller. So, why do we treat differences like it's dangerous? I think people are afraid of being wrong. We hold on to a pressure of having everything figured out when life is really about growing and figuring things out along the way. Sometimes pretending feels safer than admitting mistakes, especially when those mistakes shatter something we hold dear. But life is about change. Refusing to evolve leads to bigger danger, extinction, metaphorically, and sometimes literally. Thanks again for listening to my rambles. Welcome to Thinking Out Loud. I'm Kimberly. I don't have all the answers, and I'm okay with that. If this felt familiar, uncomfortable, or oddly relatable, you're probably in the right place. If you're looking for a community of people navigating balance and asking honest questions, follow along. We'll keep thinking, we'll keep growing, and we'll keep asking questions together.